Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ground Up with Natalie, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on what it actually takes to build a career in the entertainment industry as an actor. I sit down with actors, directors, and casting directors to talk about the real, unfiltered journey, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. No gatekeeping, no overnight success myths, just honest conversations to remind you that you're not alone and that you too can follow this dream. I hope you enjoy. Guys, I am so excited. I'm sitting here today with my dear friend Sibongile Mlambo, and we've actually worked on 2 projects together, which is like impossible in this industry. So we were both on Siren and Raising Kanan, but this girl, holy shit, you're gonna wanna stay tuned for this one. She has been in Lost in Space, Siren, Black Lightning, Roswell, New Mexico, The Blacklist, Encounters, Power, and Teen Wolf, Black Sails, and all these, like, we're not talking 1-2 episodes, we're talking 10, 12, 9, 5, 6. From someone who's recurred on a few shows, that's hard. And she has so many tips and true insights that she's learned over the last 15 years of pursuing this career that I think are genuinely invaluable. So pen and paper out, you know the drill, and let's get into the episode. Okay, Sibongile, thank you so much for being here on Ground Up. I'm so excited to see your face today.
Thanks for having me, babe.
Yeah. We're going to start with the Ground Up 3, which are 3 very difficult questions, so I hope you're ready.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa.
Wow. That's really cool. What was your first dream job?
My first dream job was actually a modeling gig.
Really?
Yeah. I was living in South Africa at the time, Cape Town, and I booked an African campaign for Nivea.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, and I think it was cocoa butter.
Mm-hmm.
And there were billboards like all over the continent. I got to go back to Zimbabwe. I mean, there were billboards in South Africa and there were billboards in Zimbabwe. And that to me was very special because I was like, oh, this is home. And people get to see like what I've been doing out there at home, you know? And so that I think was the first dream job.
When did you move to South Africa from Zimbabwe? How old were you?
Well, I had graduated college. I graduated and I was living in New York at the time. Like after I graduated, I was studying in Dallas in Texas. Went to New York for about a year and then moved back to Zimbabwe. I was there for like 2 months. Okay. And then quickly was like, oh, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I moved to South Africa. So that was 2011.
So you booked that campaign when you were in your 20s?
Oh my goodness, yeah, like late.
Sorry,
20s.
I still think you're 20. So I'm like, where are we on the timeline here? I guess I should start there.
The timeline is very long. Yeah, that was like mid to late 20s.
Okay,
was when I did that.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so and then what was your first job? That's the third question of the Ground Up 3. Like for me, it was like a bagger at Albertsons. So like, what was your first like paid job, or was it modeling? Because you,
oh my goodness,
came out of the womb beautiful. I don't know.
My first paid gig. You know, I did my first movie when I was 10.
Oh shit.
Yeah, in Zimbabwe. So, I guess that was my first paid gig. Did I get money for that job? I don't know. I don't remember seeing the money.
Mom and dad have the money,
right? I guess they have the money, but yeah, I guess that was my first paid gig. Was an action. Never thought about that.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, it was distant.
Seriously. So, okay, so did you have a dream when you were really young to be an actor, or how did you get that audition for that movie? Were your parents, you know, super into you being creative and they pushed you to do that?
So actually, my dream career as a child was to be a vet. Okay. I loved dolphins and puppies. And so that was what I thought I was gonna do. And when I was about 7 or 8, my oldest sister, she was in a movie in Zimbabwe and we went to go watch it at the theater. And I remember thinking, like watching it and just being like, oh my God, that looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
And as a child, you're like, but this is what we do every day. I have a twin brother. So I mean, I'm like, but that's what we do when we play. We're just playing pretend, right? And so a few years later, there was an international film that was looking for a boy. And of course, they called my sister, and my brother got the audition, and I sulked so much because I was like, well, this is not fair.
Yeah.
What about me? What about girls? Like, come on, because the culture is very boy focused, kind of thing, patriarchal. And I was like, this isn't fair. I want to go too. And so my parents like, fine. Oh my gosh, you can go to the audition with him. And the director asked him, I'm going to throw him under the bus. But the director asked him, can you act? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, homie did not understand this.
Put me in, coach.
Right. And he looked at me, and I must have looked so eager.
Yeah.
But he asked me, can you act? And I said, yes. Yeah. And I'd never acted a day in my life.
So you booked the little boy role.
Right. I booked the little boy.
Did you?
Well, they changed it to a girl because it was non-consequential. Right?
Yeah.
But I ended up booking it. And that was my first acting experience. Let me tell you, day one, the director made me cry. Because I actually did not know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't an actress, you know. And he wasn't very nice to me. But
and you're 10.
Yeah.
It's like, give me a break.
Yeah. But eventually, we got through the movie, and it was such a wonderful experience. I got to work with actors from South Africa, and other prominent Zimbabwean actors. And after that, I was like, oh my goodness.
You got the bug.
I got the bug.
Yeah. So the seed was planted when you were a long time ago.
Yeah.
It makes sense now. I mean, I can't wait to hear the story of how you came to America, booked all these network shows. Like, it's so hard to book a show.
Oh my goodness.
It's so hard to book a series regular on Freeform, which you've done.
Right.
It's so hard to be a part of the Power universe. I feel like everyone wants to be.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So I just think that's so incredible. I want to know, before we get into really your acting trajectory, I do want to know, Sibongile is a little girl in Zimbabwe. Running around, playing with her little brother. Like, take me to like a moment in time there. What was your family like? Did you sit down and have dinner every night together? Like, what made you get that fearlessness in you to then go on to do everything that you end up doing? Is it something that came from childhood?
I think so. I mean, Zimbabwe got its independence in 1980. And so by the time I was born, I was considered a born free. And it was a really special time in the country. Like, races were mixing. There was a lot of hope, and a lot of good things were happening. And so junior school was wonderful. Once we got to high school, there was a land reform that happened that completely obliterated the economy. At some point, we had a $1 zillion note, okay? And so I think kind of experiencing, like seeing the absolute deterioration of my country, kind of, it made me, like, I remember thinking, okay, my parents were in the medical field, right? They have really, that's a secure career. Everyone's like, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be something. Very secure career. And I saw them lose everything. And I just say to myself, okay, so it doesn't matter if I choose the safe route or if I choose the adventure, I could lose it all at some point. So then why not choose the adventure? And so that's what I did.
I love the way that you just put that. That is so true. Why live your entire life, adulthood, making money doing something that you don't enjoy, when at the end of the day, well, first of all, also, like, one day the lights go out and none of it matters to begin with.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's this quote, Brianna Weiss, I'm reading her book. I always post on my stories. I don't know if you see it, but like her quotes every single day. Yeah. And one of them is like, one day someone else is going to have your job. Someone else is going to live in the house that you live in right now. Someone else is going to, you know what I mean? And you are going to be gone. And to be frank, like, never really thought of in hundreds of years, right? It's like, why would you ever do something that makes you miserable on a daily basis while you are here? So I'm glad that you made that decision.
And most times I'm doing it scared. A lot of the time I'm petrified, but I'd rather do that than not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to college, you come to the States. How do you start getting reps? Did you get your representation in South Africa?
Oh my goodness, it's such a long story. So I actually went to college in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, girl.
And I was working in, after I graduated, I worked in New York, and then I moved back to Africa. And so my first reps were in South Africa.
Okay.
I had a modeling agency and an acting agency, and I had a friend who was getting these amazing American auditions. And I was like, what is this? Like, how are you doing this? Because I knew my family was in America at the time, and I knew I wanted to come back.
Okay.
And I was like, well, how am I gonna, And, she had this manager, and I was like, okay, how can I get to that? And she kind of gave me a pathway, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow this pathway. That Nivea job. So I didn't see my family for about 3 years because I couldn't afford the cost of the trip to come to America to see them. And
why did you go back to Africa?
Well, girl, my visa ran out. I had to leave.
But how were they in America?
They were American. It's so complicated.
Okay, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Okay, question really quick. Besides the fact that your family was in America, so you wanted to be here with them, is there another draw to having American reps and getting into that market as far as entertainment? I mean, I'm sure, but just wondering like what that feeling is like.
Yes, there is, because there's definitely a draw to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because that is the source, right? It's the fountain of everything. And you kind of get access to it all. The big cities are Los Angeles, New York, London. And so to get access to those areas, you get bigger roles. Yeah. Because while I was in South Africa, I got supporting roles.
Yeah.
1 line, 2 lines, 5 lines. And I think my kind of breakthrough role was on Black Sails. And I actually I was like, oh my goodness, I've got pages,
Yeah.
And it was actually like the first meaty, I guess, American series that I got. And so that is what really kind of turned the focus. And my parents were getting older, and they were in America, and I was like, I want to be closer to my parents.
So you auditioned while you were in South Africa for this American project?
Yeah, it was shooting in South Africa.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
See that local hire type.
There you go.
That's how you squeeze in there. That's how you get in there.
Right.
That's like with Canadians still to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, okay, how can I be on a Netflix show or a Hulu show? Let me try to book one of these.
Right. Because when you look at IMDb, you don't know where that was shot.
Yeah.
It's just an American show. You don't know where it was shot.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my springboard. On one of my trips, I made my first trip to see my family, and I was like, okay, next year I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to look for reps. And I went to New York. I interviewed with some people there. They weren't interested. Love that New York. They tell you like it is. Okay,
it's better that way. No sugarcoating.
It is, and I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
I would love to leave the room knowing I'm not liked or I didn't book it.
Right.
Here it's like, that was so good. Oh my, you know what? You don't even have to do it again. You can just leave. And then you leave and
never
then you
hear from them. Never hear from them. But, and then I came to LA and I interviewed with my manager, who is still my manager to this day.
That's so nice.
And she, she's like, actually, there's something casting that you might be right for. So the next day they sent me the size. They're like, can you go in today? It's a role. They were looking for a girl from Cape Town. And I was like,
I'm here.
I just flew in.
I've arrived.
Yeah. And, I immediately called my mom and I was like, Mom, because my mom is African. So we're also South African. But I asked her, Mom, what's some vernacular that I can add to this audition to make it stand out from the girls here? And so she, gave me some things. And I went to the audition and the casting director was like, okay, can you come back this afternoon, meet the director? And I was like, of course. And I did. And they were like, great. Well, we're here. You're traveling. When are you coming back? And I was like, well, actually, I'm going home. So I don't know when I'm coming back, And they were like, okay, cool. So if we want to hire you, we'd have to get they call it it's the O visa. It's the artist visa.
Okay.
Or for aliens of extraordinary ability. And so I left and I remember feeling a little down because I was like, oh, they're never going to ask me to come back. It'll be easier for them to just hire someone in LA. And like 5 weeks later, well, I got back to South Africa and my manager was like, okay, get your paperwork ready just in case they come back to us.
Yeah.
And I did. And about 5 weeks later, and this was before Zoom, hey? So I got on Skype with the director and he offered me the role.
Oh my gosh. What role was this?
This was in Message from the King.
Okay.
With the late Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, yes.
I played his sister. And he played a South African who comes to LA to kind of like find out what happened and to get revenge. Yeah, it was a fun action role.
Wow, what a phone call for you to get that. And they flew you to LA.
No, you see, this is where I'm like, you have to be willing to do what other people may not be willing to do.
Yeah.
It was local hire.
Okay, so in LA.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it because then I got my work visa for 3 years. And I was able to move. Like after I did that job, I moved to LA and started working. So it was definitely the right move.
Ground Up is sponsored by Mastermind Media. Whenever someone asks me, how do I get everything done between my social media, my podcast, I say, well, I don't do any of it. Mastermind Media helps me with all of it. They created my logo. All of those reels you see on TikTok and Instagram, it's them. My podcast, editing, all the graphics on YouTube, it's Mastermind Media. So in this digital age, I find that more and more people are needing a company like this who handles everything start to finish. So if you're interested in finally taking your business idea to the next level, definitely contact Mastermind Media. All of their information is in my show notes. So how long between you booked that first job, which was called, you just told me?
Message from the King.
Black Sails.
Oh, Black Sails.
So how long did you audition before you booked Black Sails? Was like your first big, you did 10 episodes of this amazing, American series.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know how long, like was it 10 years technically that you were like?
No, actually I had.
Because the seed was planted at 10. So.
Right, and then I went back to like regular life.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah. Okay, got it. In your teens, you weren't acting.
Right, I wasn't acting. University, I wasn't acting.
Mm-hmm.
I was dancing though. And my brother was studying cinematography, so I would act like in his short films for school and stuff. But once I moved to Cape Town, and I was working as a model and a dancer, and 2012, so I moved to Cape Town in 2011. 2012 was when I was like, okay, I'm going to really pursue acting more. So it was about a year.
Oh,
I guess.
How nice is that?
Yeah, it was a year.
You're like, don't worry, I've paid for it in the last 5 years, okay?
Yeah, my whole life.
Yeah. No, because people think like, just because even if you book something a year with a year of auditioning, which technically is like a really good ratio.
Very good.
But now we're 15 years into the career, right? Because if you started auditioning in 2012.
Right. Oh my
10,
goodness.
13 years, whatever. Yeah. If we take that, there's probably so many lulls and downtimes where you're like, what am I doing? Do I quit? Do I want to quit? Is that true?
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Yes. I used to have like every year, it's like, okay, are we still doing this? Are we still doing this? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, well, wait. First, I want to talk about a few more of your booking stories.
Okay.
So we have Black Sails. Teen Wolf is a really big one. I mean, 9 episodes of an MTV show, like a few years after you do Black Sails, right?
Yeah, so Teen Wolf, I booked that about in my first year that I moved to Los Angeles.
So you're just a really good actor. Like you book. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's also like about opportunity meeting. You have to take
preparation.
The risk. Yeah, preparation. You just have to, you have to risk it because a lot of people didn't think I was ready to move to Los Angeles. But it's like, when are you ever ready for anything? And if you wait until you're ready, my goodness, you're never going to do it. You're never going to do it. So, Teen Wolf is special. That summer, I'd done a web series called Dark Web. And it was after that web series that maybe a month or two later, I went in for Teen Wolf. And I remember the audition. I remember exactly who I used as my as if.
Okay.
in that audition. And I guess it just worked. It was visceral. It was strong.
What's an as if?
Like my substitution.
Substitution. Okay. So for maybe a listener that doesn't know, can you explain what the substitution method is for an actor?
Yeah, so it's when you get the script, you have whatever the given circumstances are, right? And whoever, like say I'm talking to you in the script, but in order to personalize it, I will make you my sister, but I'm still using the same words from the script. And that will like
Ignite
bring up
something.
and it'll bring up my personal choices to it.
Love that.
Yeah.
I use that method sometimes. Yeah, as well. I think it's a good one because you deeply understand the relationship with that person that you're substituting with.
Yeah.
So if it makes sense in the circumstance, especially when you get those auditions and you're like, oh, I know exactly who this is.
Yeah.
And if it's like a strong point of view and you just whoop, substitute that person, makes the acting so much easier. Okay, so you booked that. That was so much fun. And then I'm like, oh, look, there's a gap. No, there's not. So you have MacGyver, and then you have Lost in Space. So within these years, we're now 2011 to 2020. This is before you book.
Wow.
No, you booked Siren in 2018. So you're working a lot in 2011 to 2020.
Right.
Right? And you felt that. You didn't feel like, were there 10 months where you were a lull, or for that, were you mostly working?
Well, I mean, I must say, like when I moved to LA, I had about 8 months of just auditioning. You know, it was 8 months until I booked Teen Wolf.
Okay,
and so
that's significant.
That's a big chunk of time.
It is, and especially your reps are probably getting you great auditions.
Oh yeah,
due to your talent and your type. You know what I mean? It's like anything that's right for you, they must have been submitting you on.
Right,
and in that day and age, there was a lot more auditions. So 8 months. I mean, you probably went on.
I don't even know.
A couple, like at least 100.
At least 100.
So that's a lot of no's.
It's a lot of no's.
It's a lot of no's.
And I think that was also my first pilot season, and it was like, as much as people can. Unfortunately, now it doesn't really feel like we have a pilot season, especially because we're not going in. It doesn't feel the same. But everyone would warn, like I remember getting warned about pilot season, like, listen, this is an intense time. You need to be on top of it. But you do not know until you are in the middle of it. My first pilot season, I felt like I was run over by a train. It was just like, oh my goodness, it was a lot. You would have 3 auditions a day.
Wow. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
And you would have to be on your shit because it's in person. Yeah. Tapes, like, I'm so sorry, but we can cheat.
Yeah.
All day with so many different methods. We can have our paper, we can stop in between and retake.
You're also in the comfort of your home and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So as much as I know a lot of people miss in person, and that's like a whole other discussion, but there's so many great things about tapes because that was stressful. Doing multiple auditions, driving and parking and
then having, especially when you go to a studio,
walking a mile.
Yes, to get to where you're going, and then looking at the map and like, and you're sweating, you're hot, you're really nervous.
You forget your ID at the front thing, and then you have to go back to your car and grab it. And they're like, So you worked a majority of those years. Tell us about. I would love to hear about your Siren audition. Who's the casting director? Sibongile and I met on Siren.
Yeah,
we were both in that show. We never worked together on set, right?
No.
But we went to some cast parties, which were super fun together.
I remember, in Vancouver.
Yeah, in Vancouver. So we met in 2018, and then we'll get to it, but we're both on Raising Kanan.
Hey!
And so we're in one overlapping episode together. So we just got to shoot in New York a few months ago in 2024, which is amazing. But Tannen, is that the casting director?
Oh my goodness.
Right? So we both auditioned for Siren. So we had a similar experience driving to that studio, in-person audition, all of that. Wait, I want to tell you my Siren audition story really quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I go, it's in the valley. I'm like, remember this.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? It was- okay. And I'm like sitting in there. I brought my headshot, a physical headshot.
Oh my gosh.
To the audition. Yeah. 2018. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, She calls me in and we do the scene once, which is like a scene with Xander, Ian. And we do it once and she's like, that's great. Gave me a couple notes and then she explained that I was saying like a character's name wrong in it. Like my affect was like off. And I was like, oh, sorry. She's like, yeah. So, because clearly she liked me and she wanted to send the tape off. So she's like, let me just get this correct. You know what I mean? Even though it probably doesn't really matter, but she's like already giving me notes. So she's like, oh yeah, and by the way, this is how you pronounce that name.
Right.
And so I do it again and I pronounce the name the exact same that I did before. Yeah. And she was like, okay, great. You did it again. Like, can we just do it one more time? And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, of course, sorry. But still having a blast because like now when you get to do it 3 times, which is so rare these days, it's fun. Because you get to, now you're in the groove.
You're relaxed.
By the 3rd one, you're like, oh, this is fun. She's working off me. I remember the casting director was, casting a net, like, because he's a fisher. So she was like, she was moving. She's like, yeah, and I got the thing.
Yes,
and she's like
She
moving around.
acts with you.
She acts with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is so much fun. Anyways, so she's like, great, thank you so much. So I leave. And I'm like kind of happy. I'm like, okay, that was fun regardless. Because I was going on so many auditions and that was not happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like one take.
Right.
Thank you so much, bye. So I was like, oh, that's not so bad. Walking out. And I'm like, I left the name out completely in that 3rd take.
No way.
Didn't say it. Just left it out. And so I started crying.
Oh no.
Because I was like, no, another one bites the freaking dust. Like, I'm not booking this. And then when I booked it, I was so happy.
Oh my gosh.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I really needed, that was my first booking.
Oh yeah.
So that was 3 years
Wow.
of auditioning.
Natalie.
Consistently. Because imagine,
Wow.
Latina, 20, I had great reps.
Right.
I was getting tons of auditions, 300 to be exact.
Oh my goodness.
And
that was 100 a year, basically.
And
Wow.
that was my first booking. And if you think about it, I've gone on, because I've been doing this for 10 years now, probably around 800. I've had 14 bookings.
Out of 800.
Yeah.
See those stats?
Like,
And let me tell you, when people say, like, when people come to LA for like a year and they're like, oh, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave. And it's like, honey.
oh, you're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, you've barely gotten started.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
It's so hard. Okay, I want to hear your Siren story.
Oh, so I remember my first audition, because I auditioned for it as a pilot to begin with. And I remember going in and she like acts with you. And that, I think I was like, oh, this is nice, you know? And
This is showing you guys how rare it is to actually be able to act in these auditions with someone else. It's so...
yeah, it's special.
It is special.
And it's almost a bit like, it's almost as if like it's a communion between you and the casting director, and also like getting the notes and we don't get that with tapes, right? You don't get the notes. You probably have an acting friend who's trying to direct you, and it's sometimes it feels like you're grasping at like air or something. But I did that first audition, and I remember having like a wig, because I was like, mermaids,
so you wore a wig into the audition.
Yes.
Because you read the sides and you're like, okay, this is going to be part of the character that I'm bringing.
Right.
Love.
And I got the call back for the test, and I think it was about 4 girls, and they said, could you not wear your wig, please? And I was like, oh,
Slay.
on her own natural.
Yeah.
Okay. But, I went in for that. I didn't book the pilot, so it actually went away for me. And a year later, they shot the pilot, everything. A year later, it was during summer, because I was in New York, and I got the call, they want to bring you in for season 1. Once the show goes, they're looking to bring you in. You don't have to audition again, but they want to do a water test. to see how you are in the water.
For a different role, or this is the same
Different role.
So did they reshoot the pilot?
They did.
Oh.
Yeah, we reshot the pilot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, so what just happened is another actress booked this role. They shot it.
Yeah, they shot it.
They shot this entire 60-minute pilot, and then they watched it back, and they were like with maybe a couple test groups or something. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I have no idea how it works. And now I'm like, I don't know if they reshot it. Does Donna come in episode 1, episode 2? I don't remember right now.
I remember. Well, I know Fola got recast. She was the recast of another character.
Oh, okay. So maybe they did, because I was the recast of another character.
Yeah.
So I think I think we did reshoot the whole thing.
So they scrapped the pilot. I'm sure Aline was attached. There was a bunch of actors that were still attached, and they recast the ones that did not work out. So this is something that happens often when you're the person that gets the call that you now booked it. It's amazing. Obviously, when you're the person who's getting recast, I cannot imagine the heartbreak.
Right.
I've had heartbreaks in this industry. I have not been recast from a pilot before, but man, that's rough. But it just goes to show how nonchalantly you know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is what happened, and then I got a call, and they're reshooting it, and now you know what I mean? It's like happens all the time.
And you have there's no control, and there's no, like, it's I think you have to have I don't know, a lot of resilience during this, because a lot of it, you're going to take it personally, but you also can't take it personally. And it's a business. There's so many things that go into casting and the roles, and you just never know. You never know what it is.
I think it takes so long to understand that. And I think it's like almost either a lifelong understanding, or maybe it's an age thing, and you're just like, oh wait, I'm 40 now. Like, I don't give a fuck. Or I don't know when it comes in.
I can't wait for that.
I know. I'm like, I don't know when it comes in. I feel like the last 2 years I've grown tremendously with that idea of like, oh, I can't place my worth on these bookings because, or else I would be literally worthless. Feel worthless, because how can I feel of worth when I'm going on 100 auditions and not booking one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's about 95% rejection.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It is.
I think a big part of it is being a whole human outside of acting. So having other hobbies doesn't mean it's a backup plan. Having other jobs, literally, monetarily.
Yep.
Thanks. Our producer is shaking his head. Thanks, Tanner. Things that you can monetize from, because money is important. And I think what actors do is they're like, okay, no, acting's number one, and this other thing will be like a side gig or my survival job, God forbid they call it. Don't call it that, because it's not your survival job. It is hopefully a job that you enjoy, because acting is going to be the survival job, the thing that happens way less than this other thing that you do maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, even for me, I quit my restaurant job 7 years ago, and I've been supporting myself just with acting for 7 years. But I have so much time off that even though, yes, I'm financially stable, which is incredible, I would go absolutely crazy if I didn't have my other endeavors that I love doing. Right. And they don't have to be publicized. It doesn't have to be, a podcast or some big business. It could just be like, oh no, I love baking, and like I wake up and I do that, or else you will mentally, I feel like,
you'll go crazy.
Okay, so you get the call. And you booked it. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I do I even remember what I don't even remember.
You must have freaked out. That's so cool.
Yeah, because to be a mermaid, let alone I'd never seen a black mermaid on TV.
Yeah. The first of its kind.
Yeah. On TV. And so it was just, I loved that job. We had to get Patty certified, and there was so much physicality to it. The swimming, I had to learn how to hold my breath. I got up to 1:47.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I cannot do that now.
You practiced and you got, wow.
Yeah, and so it was just, and then the tank days, you know, we're talking about like 2-story scaffolding filled with water, warm. And so you're basically in a jacuzzi the whole day.
So
loved it. I loved it. And every little girl dreams of that, you know? And so that job was so, so special to me.
And the cast is amazing.
Yeah, and we're still friends to this day.
Yeah. Can you tell us what the production provides as far as training you for something like that?
Oh, well, we definitely had the PADI certification, so the training going into, I don't know where we went, but there was that.
Into the ocean? PADI, what is that?
Oh, PADI is like a scuba diving certification.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we did it. We started in a pool, and then we actually went out into the ocean in Vancouver. It was freezing.
Oh my gosh.
It was freezing. And then there was the free diving training that we did as well to learn how to hold our breath, you know, equalizing, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that was the training that we got.
Yeah, that's so fun when you get on a show and they're like, all right, guys, tactical training now, or like whatever.
Right.
It's my dream. Okay, so let's talk about post Siren. Oh my God. We have Roswell, New Mexico, which is another amazing show that I've auditioned for 100 times and never booked. What network is that? Is that CW?
CW, baby. Yeah.
Okay. So mid-pandemic, Sibongile is on Roswell, New Mexico. So 10 episodes. Was that a series regular?
No, it was a guest star. Yeah, recur.
Okay. Siren was a series regular, fractional.
Yeah. That was my first series regular.
That was your first series regular?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So fun. That was a guest star for me, and then it turned into recurring.
Nice.
So it was like first 1 and then up to 12. What was the Roswell audition like?
Oh, that was, you said mid-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So this is deep in taping land. And I remember that audition. I think I did that audition with my friend Nate Toller. And it was virtual, like he was on FaceTime or something. And
people are very curious about this if you can't find a reader. So you got the audition, you texted him, hey, can you read via FaceTime with me to tape it?
Yeah, and so you just put up your iPad and he's there, either your iPad or your phone, depending on whatever you tape with. And you read with them over. And I don't think it wasn't even video. I think he was on it was just sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun audition. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? We have to act to like, I feel like these days I'm just acting to the air.
Yeah.
And the reader is not even a lot of times an actor. It's just someone that I can get in the moment.
Right.
And I really have to create everything on our own, which is crazy.
In our imagination.
Yeah. So was there a callback? No, it was a guest recurring.
Wasn't. Yeah. There wasn't a callback. It was just straight booked it. And I think a lot of people, that was my first booking after COVID happened.
Okay.
And people were very, I think, conscious to things. And so that team was so sweet with me, you know, and they were like, how do you want to wear your hair? You can wear it however you want. We spoke about, because there was some intimacy as well. We had conversations, but they were so kind. And I think everyone just felt going back to work was special.
Yeah.
You know?
Everyone was grateful.
It was a gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fun one. Okay. So then we get up to, oh my God. Okay. I think I found a lull maybe. Do you feel like between Roswell and your Raising Kanan booking, do you feel like that was a little bit of like a few years where it was like, holy shit, okay, am I going to book another series reg? Am I going to book another recurring?
Yeah. You know what happened between that? I booked 2 pilots that never went. Yeah. And both of them never went.
But your booking rate is like high.
You know, I want to go back to that.
You will. I'm not worried. That's amazing though. You booked 2, booking something is so crazy that I'm like, okay, that's 2 bookings where you went through 40 girls. You know what I mean?
Right.
50 girls. And I say that number because I feel like it's less now. I feel like it used to be more.
Or it might even be more now because of tapes.
Because of tapes.
And you can get tapes from anywhere in the world.
But you know what I feel like is happening right now?
What?
I feel like casting used to be like, oh my God, fun. Like, yeah, I'll watch your tape. You can tape, not you as in like to the actor, but like to the agent and manager. Like, yeah, I'll see your client. They can tape for me, no problem. And they were like saying yes to a lot of people. Now I feel like, will you see my client? The agents and managers are like, will you see my client to tape? And they're like, no, she's not right for this. And it's getting harder and harder.
Oh my goodness.
And so like we're lucky because we are like working where it's like, oh yeah, I know her, I'll see her. But I feel like it's getting harder and harder to get these appointments that they're calling them now than it used to be. Because you know the self-tape time slots too? Where they're like, or sorry, the Zoom time slots for auditioning. Where they're like, okay, we have 7 time slots today to do a Zoom audition with the casting director. And if you don't like...
You have to do it as soon as possible.
Yeah, as soon as possible. Yeah, anytime tomorrow, 11 a.m. Yep, that works. Count me in, coach.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That could be something that I'm making up. But my point is that's, you booked 2 pilots. So they didn't go.
Yeah. Unfortunately. And that's also, heartbreaking. We're talking about heartbreak, right? Because you put so much, you imagine your whole life when this thing has gone. You've also seen the money, you've signed the contract, you've met everyone, you've worked together, you've formed this relationship, and then it doesn't move forward, and that's quite disappointing.
And a pilot means just 1 episode you shot. Yeah. Damn, yeah, that is heartbreaking.
And one of those was, we shot in New Zealand. And it was just, it was wonderful. It was my first time to New Zealand. My character rode a horse, so I had horseback training, and just like it was wonderful. And we're still friends to this day with everyone.
So we're talking about all these bookings right now. You've booked a lot of roles. If we talk about my 800 to 14, maybe yours is 600 to 30 or something like that. It's a lot of things to book. Besides the fact that you're really talented, do you have any tips when it comes to auditioning? Is there something that you feel like has really worked for you?
Oh my gosh. Shucks, that's a hard question. Because you know why it's a hard question? Because I think the world sees your wins, but they don't see your losses, right? So, of course, everyone's going to see the work that I have booked, but you haven't seen the other 95% of auditions that I auditioned for and didn't book. And so, but when I look back at what I have booked, I think trying to be your most authentic self, that your unique selling point, no one can top that. You're not in competition with anyone, really, It's you versus you, because each, especially when we used to go back in the room, you'd walk in the room and it's like, oh my goodness, you see versions of yourself, right? You see people like, oh, we're all lumped into the same category. But as you start to get to know each other, you realize, oh, well, if they want her essence, they definitely don't want mine. Like in a broad, looking at a group of people broadly, you could be like, oh, they're so similar. Oh my goodness, I don't know who I'm going to choose. But as you get to know people, or you get a taste of their flavor, you realize that everyone is so different.
So true.
Yeah.
So if you're to hide that, you're actually doing yourself a disservice.
Huge disservice.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. The more of yourself that you can bring to something, the better. Because, people talk about make interesting choices. Well, the interesting choice is your choice. What is your choice? Yeah.
1 in 8 billion, literally.
Literally.
That's the choice.
Yeah.
Did you manifest power? Were you telling me?
Maybe I did.
Weren't you? You were like, I wanted to get into the power universe.
For a long time. Oh my goodness. Like since since it first started, I feel like I'd gotten auditions here and there for the different seasons, you know, and the different power shows. But none of them ever felt like they fit quite right. And so when this character came along, I was like, it also kind of felt like, this is it. If I don't, this, it just felt like this is the last time that I get to be in the power universe, you know? And so I was like, I'm going to give this everything.
What does that mean?
Actually take the time and put the effort.
It's an honest answer.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I'm lazy.
Yeah, same.
And sometimes I. Yeah, and if I feel like I don't connect with this character, I don't put as much effort. And maybe like those are the ones that you don't book because you haven't put as much effort, right? But when you fall in love with a character, there's just something. It gets extra attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so easy to melt into your couch with those sides. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to dive into this and figure out what I want to do with it. Yeah, I agree. So that's how it felt with Imani?
Imani.
Oh yeah, girl.
Okoye.
Yeah.
I just loved her. And, you know, I think I really like characters who have characteristics that I aspire to have. And like she, you know, this boss bitch, confident, sexy. And I was just like, oh my God, I want to be all of those things.
Yeah.
And so getting to embody that was just, just fit like a glove. And
Fit like a glove. Yeah. And her outfits fit like a glove too.
The costume department is fire.
Insane.
All of the departments, hair, makeup.
I know. When people ask me, I say that Jessica is my favorite character that I've ever played.
Oh.
And it's because of those reasons. You know, not a lot of characters, especially if you're doing something procedurally or even young adult, high school, whatever. Right. It's not often that you get thrown on with these long nails and this big hair that takes you to an era, literally the 90s, and the outfits are so important. It's not just like throwing on a t-shirt and jeans. And so I just loved when I got into Jessica's essence and wardrobe and everything. It was so fun to like drop into her and the accent and stuff too.
Yeah,
so,
she was bad.
I love her. How funny is that? We're in a little, you date my ex in Power. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a love triangle.
Was there ever a point that you did indeed want to give up, or is that fire just so strong and you're like, no, this is what I meant to do. There's going to be downs, there's going to be ups, but I'm resilient and I'm going to continue this journey for myself?
I wish that was the case, but I feel like every year there's been a moment where I've had to ask myself, hey, are we doing this? Are we still doing this? Are we still doing this? I ask myself that every year. And what does keep me going? I think there's definitely a feeling of I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. And that's what keeps me in it. And people, like, I'm like, hey, if people keep calling me in, people keep paying me to do this, then I'm gonna be here for it. Right. I'm gonna ride this wave for as long as it's gonna take me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to actively stop it from happening when things are coming in.
Oh, definitely. No way. But, you know, it does, each year it does, I feel, get harder.
I feel that too, which is crazy because we're working actors.
Yeah. But when I think about my career, it's, you know, I am so grateful for the work that I have done, but I'm like, there's more.
Yeah.
There's more that I want, you know? And it hasn't quite played out the way that I would have wanted it to. And so I think, you know, having the patience and kind of, it's also a career that's not linear. We're not in a linear career. And there's so much unknown. So being comfortable in that.
You have to. Can you talk a little bit about the organization that you work with that you were telling me about earlier? Yeah, I'd love to hear about it. Because this is something that you do that keeps your heart full and you busy while you're auditioning and in between shows.
Right.
So I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. So I am a Rotary International Ambassador. And Rotary is a non-governmental, non-political organization. It's a volunteer organization with clubs all around the world. So you'll find clubs in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, all over America, Europe, literally all over the world, with different areas of focus. And so whether that's making sure that people have water or helping survivors of sex trafficking, there's a lot of different ways to be involved. Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, I actually got to travel with them to Uganda. We went to a refugee settlement, and I got to really see the work that they're doing there. Yeah. And there is a film academy in the refugee settlement, and it was started by this guy Cedric Bicano, and like people. So I got to teach a masterclass and be with them.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it left such a big impact on me because these are refugees. They're coming from countries that are in conflict, and they're telling their stories. And by doing that, it's healing them. It's connecting them with each other because they're coming from about 13 different countries, right? Yeah. Different people who've gone through different and yet similar experiences of loss, of grief, trauma, and seeing how they put filmmaking and storytelling to use, it gave me purpose.
Yeah.
Because I was like, in our career, there's so much vanity in our career.
So much.
A lot. But if I'm able to give back and connect with people in this way and actually see it impact someone and change their life for the better, or they learn a skill, they learn to have self-confidence, they learn to speak and to share their stories, then that to me makes it worthwhile, you know?
That's really inspiring. I love that. What are your current dreams and goals?
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Current dreams and goals. Oh my gosh.
Is it like career? I swear if someone asked me that, I'd be like, series regular.
Money. Constant stream of
lead
money.
in show.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Or are you honestly like freaking being present and going with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've really learned to be, don't get me wrong, of course I have things that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
But I also realize that, we're not meant to be on this earth to just work.
Yeah.
I'm just meant to be. Being here is enough. And this comes from someone who is a recovering perfectionist and an overachiever, right? I have work ethic. Whew, I have it, right? But I think I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to only be known for my work. I don't want to only be known for oh my goodness, she worked so hard.
Yeah.
I want to have fun. I want to connect with people. I love different cultures. I love traveling. And so I do a lot of that. But my dream would be, I really want to be able to do a lot more of the same
things that you're doing.
Yeah. Oh. I want to travel more. I want to make more money. I want to connect with more people on a global scale. I want to love deeper, have deeper friendships, do projects that are close to my heart and are not just money projects, which are also important, but and to carry on being healthy and happy. So, yeah.
Because that's the only way you can give back too, is being the healthiest
version of
loving version of yourself.
Yeah.
On that note, what advice would you give to someone who's starting to pursue this career right now?
Oh,
I know.
You better have your support systems in place, emotionally, And also, I guess financially, like you were talking about, like the different jobs that people need, because you still need to survive. You still need to feed yourself. You still need to house yourself.
Because that stress is, you cannot pursue a career in acting, I don't think, with that much stress and anxiety on a daily basis, because then you're desperate for a job.
Right.
And that'll come through in your acting.
Yeah. And such a heavy weight and a heavy load to carry. So if there's a way for you to be able to provide for yourself and pursue this with dignity, you know? So definitely have your support systems in place.
Yeah, that's great.
And there are no rules. There are no rules. Go and break every rule, because the rules actually don't matter. Do whatever you want, whether you're coming from the social media world, or you're coming from theater school, or you are doing workshops, whatever it is, whatever. And I guess this goes with whatever career that you're pursuing. Dive in it, because it's also one of those, if you just dip a toe or dip a foot, you may not experience the full breadth of what there is.
And it's okay if you fail immediately.
Yeah.
You need to fail yesterday.
Yeah.
Literally, to start seeing success in 3 years.
And you're going to be bad. You're going to be bad. Oh my gosh. I look at some of my stuff and I'm like,
Same. Well, I made a post the other day about the podcast, and I was like, oh wow, Girly just dove in episode 1, season 1. I like watched it back and I was like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. And that was only 2 years ago. But like, it does not look like, technically if I were to look at it right now, I'd be like, it's not my favorite.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, okay.
You did it.
You got that out of the way. And now it's going to continue to look so much sharper, and my hosting skills are going to get better. All of that. And I can't just start day one and be like, yep, I'm Call Her Daddy. Like, no, it's like literally physically impossible.
Right. And it also shows growth. Like, if you're able to look back and look at, oh, you know what, I could have done that better and that better, that shows your growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything exciting coming up project-wise? Sibongile.
I do, and I can't talk about it.
Oh my God.
I signed an NDA, but
I'm going to beg her to tell me after this. She won't. Wait, that's so exciting. And the joy on your face is telling me like this is a big deal.
I think so.
I better let you go. What are you auditioning for this weekend then? Fuck it. No, I'm kidding. No.
Because we can't talk about that either. Can we? Oh.
No, but also that's a great lesson in like, before I left for Raising Kanan, I was at a shoot the day before for a Disney print campaign wearing a costume. And do you know Devin Way?
No.
He's one of my friends, but he was on the podcast as well. He was in a show called Queer as Folk. Anyways, so he was there too, shooting something, and he always makes fun of me, but in like the best way ever. He's like, why were you shooting this? It was like $500 for the day of like a campaign, like shooting like in Halloween costumes.
Okay.
And he's like, why are you here? Like, you just posted a deadline yesterday. Like, you're flying. I'm like, yeah, I don't leave until tomorrow. So I just wanted to make some money and stay busy. But it just reminded me of how, like, this thing that you have upcoming, this project that you can't talk about, like, you got an audition. Okay, I'm putting it on tape. Like, you don't just put all your eggs in one basket and go, oh, I made it. Never. You never actually really make it.
Yeah. And that's what they don't tell you. Because it's like, you get to a point where you're like, when can I stop auditioning?
Yeah.
Oh.
People have asked me if I get offers because of like Tell Me Lies. I'm not even a lead on Tell Me Lies. Like, what?
Such a juicy role though.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Love, obsessed. But like, offered.
It'll come.
I'm not saying it won't. My abundance mindset is there for both of us, but that's hard. Yeah. Selena Gomez auditioned for Amelia Perez.
You see what I'm talking about?
Come on. Sibongile, thank you so much for coming here today. It was so fun chatting with you, and I know that my listeners are going to gain so many insights from you. Where can people follow you?
Just my first name, at Sibongile. So that's Sibongile.
Best handle ever. That's amazing. All right. Thanks. Love you. Bye.
You too.